And we're back. What's happening?
That's my fault.
Jacuzzi, Menna.
That's my fault.
Okay. Maskagro, welcome. Assalamu alaikum. Masa al khair, sabah al khair. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. We're so happy that you are tuning in and joining us for this discussion where we will continue with Nubian architecture. We are still waiting for a few people to join us on what it means to be Nubian. And just as we are saying that, our brother Mustafa Mahmoud is joining us from Kenya. Blessed Rising.
Hi.
Brother Mustafa, hello. Hi. Thank you for joining us.
You're welcome. Thank you for letting me join you.
Family, and this is an open discussion, and it truly has been such a pleasure to connect with you on your panel that was organized by Nubian Souk. Fam, if you are tuning from wherever you are, find the pages for Nubian Souk. Find out what they're doing and learn about our extended family in Kenya. And we hope that more of our family around the world will start tuning in as Nubia Fest grows into connecting us and bringing us together as a people. We have a lot to learn from each other. We have a lot to unlearn from each other. Just like Menna just completely blew my mind with some facts here. I think I'm going to sit and think about this connection of taking our livelihood through the arable land and that ultimately leading to this just like mass, whatever you want to call it, up to the north to begin the rewriting of the Nubian identity, quote unquote. I'm going to put this here. Brother Mustafa, can you join us and tell us a little bit about you and about Nubian Souk, and what can we know very briefly about our Nubian sisters and brothers in Kenya?
You got me there when you requested for photos. So I was just in the middle of searching for photos that are relevant for the session. So if you could just give me like 2 minutes, then I'll come back.
Take your time. Let's continue. We'll continue the conversation. We have Brian Smith saying, "Salaam alaikum wa alaikum assalam." Brian, thank you so much for tuning in. What were some of the questions that we had going on, Menna, from
maybe first people can join in and sign in by saying who they are, where they are from. Nubian by identity, tell us your village, which country, which the imposed nations on us, but what is your village? Where are you from? I know it's complicated. I spend 4 villages and more. So and let me also welcome Brother Mustafa. I'm so happy to have you, cousin, here and to kind of mend the rupture in our identity. It's one Nubia. Doesn't matter how many flight hours it needs to reach each other, but it still is one Nubia, right?
Oh, you plant those seeds and they're listening, but let us ring that alarm. You heard the sister. Tell us where you're tuning in from. Tell us where you are currently based. Tell us what being Nubian means to you, and most importantly, tell us if you're interested in coming live to this conversation. We are supposed to have Nabra, and hopefully Dua will be tuning in, or if she's listening because she's currently on the go. This sister is go, 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 no stop, and you'll understand why if you had seen her panel on representing Nubia in the media. And we have Arwa from Abu Simbel. Arwa, please let us know to join us, please. We would love to meet you. Put a face to the comments. اتفضلي. Let us know. أبعت لك اللينك على فيسبوك. تدخلي معنا هنا في النقاش live. If you're happy with that. And Menna, how fitting that your shirt is from Kenya.
Yes. When he comes back, I'll tell him. I was in Kenya before, and I went to Kibera, and I met some of my cousins. I was so happy when somebody says I am Nubian. I am so happy. And the funny thing is that it's not just that. The Nubianness is shared beyond beyond our knowledge of it. I once met somebody, and he asked me, "Where are you from?" And often when somebody asks me, "Where are you from?" I start by saying, "I'm Nubian Egyptian," just to not confuse by just I'm Egyptian. And he said, "I am Nubian too. I am from Burundi." And I was thinking, well, that makes sense. You know, it's one river. So it's the Nubianness travels beyond our understanding of it. So we're still learning. We're still learning the bounds, and maybe as this is unbounded. Yeah. You're muted.
Yeah, I know. I just let it go. That's something that recently the Nubia initiative was. It was a comment on Twitter with an account called Sudanese Culture, where they had some images of statues and temples and saying with the hashtag Sudanese culture. I mean, it said Nubian something, but ultimately at the bottom it said Sudanese culture. And it's just like,
yeah, but that happens all the time. And that's always happens.
And we're personally guilty of it. Yani, when we started the Nubia initiative, although I'm here not speaking in my capacity as the Nubia initiative per se, yani, if I am, I'll interject and refer to the Nubia initiative, but I'm speaking here as my personal capacity as Dimah Mahmoud. But when we started the Nubia initiative, it was like, okay, we know that there are Nubians outside the borders of modern day Egypt and Sudan, but we don't know anything about them. To even begin, like, let's start with what we have. Everything that is done out of the Nubia initiative is literally working with what we have. We start with when we organized the inaugural conference, I can't tell you, we don't have the funding. We're a young organization. It was literally my sister and I. But it was okay. Let's out of pocket. This thing could have been a lot bigger, but I can sit and wait until I have more to do bigger, or I can start somewhere, and then more people will come. Build, and they will come, and that's where it started. And so I'm so glad to find the continuation of this has now brought in our sisters and brothers, our family in Kenya, to add to this collective. And Mustafa, I hope this is not the last time, and that there's many more of this. Perhaps we can have an entire discussion on what Nubian architecture looks like from all these different perspectives, what modern Nubian architecture is in. And I'm putting it in quotes, Menna, because I see you cringe, and I'm seeing these exclamation marks pop in the back of your mind.
Yeah, but if it serves, yes, that's how it is. The question has an answer. It doesn't have one answer. That's the thing. It doesn't have pure answer. It's such an open answer, but we know what it does. We don't know what it is. We know what it does.
Yeah.
This is
and you see that continuity. You see that continuity, and I really love ان انت قلتي انه البيت النوبي اكتر من ان هو it's like a domestic space.
Oh my God, much more. I grew up in the courtyard. A Nubian courtyard is a power spot. If you grow up with your grandmother sitting like a queen in the middle of her courtyard in the winter, running around in sand and seeing how she runs things around, it's beyond the understanding within our literature and architecture of the domestic space, housing, private space. It just transcends and subsedes all these understandings.
Oh, I'm just... لا أروى كتبت I don't know if she means BS ولا بس, but حاسة إن هي ممكن تبقى BS. Problem with my phone, unfortunately, it keeps going off. بس معاكم لحد ما أقدر, وإحنا معاكي, and soon the problems will disappear. لأنه تأكدي you're not the only one dealing with the problems. Well, tech gremlins have been going left, right, and center في المهرجان ده من أوله لآخره.
I have done technical gymnastics for today. I'm not going to take the time to tell you what I did to get the internet from another thingy to I have done some. I'm so glad I have my husband here also. He's pretty tech savvy to help.
We are
Thank you,
so glad.
Hamza.
We are so glad for Hamza. Thank you. And again, a reminder that we work with what we have. We stop at nothing. And as challenging as it may seem, we will ultimately get to where we need to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, if our history tells us anything, if our very existence tells us anything, if our Haboba still being there and speaking our language and instilling that in us tells us anything, it tells us that.
Let's see if we have some good Nubians.
We have Hisham Saleh Ahmed from Sai Island, from Sudan, Sai Island. Ahlan wa sahlan. Hisham, thank you for joining us.
And let's see how Nubian we all are, and see who of us, how many of us are so afraid of their grandmothers.
So, come on, let's be very honest. I think everyone's afraid of their grandmothers on some.
If you're not, that's a sign of Nubianness. How afraid, even if she's kind, you would do anything not to make her mad at you. It doesn't matter. Yeah, if you're afraid of your grandmother,
you never want to cross the queen, Menna. You never want to cross the queen. Lata, we have salams to all. Wa alaikum assalam, sis. Come through. We sent. You have the link. I think Mustafa, you might have given her the link. If you're available, please join us. Log on. And then we have Al-Bunyan Al-Jadid. How is the Egyptian Nubian architecture different from the Sudanese Nubian architecture? سؤال ده عشانك, and I'll leave it for you.
Okay, so forget Egypt and Sudan. Oh, Mustafa expect, but maybe in the should I finish answering it or should we wait?
Finish answering it, بس من غير forget Egypt and Sudan عشان ما توديناش في داهية.
No, just no. It's
No, I'm joking.
No, I mean forget the line.
This is a free space.
So the line between Egypt and Sudan was charted by the English colonizer in 1899 and enacted in the 50s by the other political issues we're not going into, cutting into the city, the village, the Nubian village of Adindan, the Fadita Nubian village of Adindan, making that the brother would be Egyptian, the other brother would be Sudanese. So there is a strand of Fadita Nubians that go all the way to Sudan, our cousins who are in all the way until Haifa, and then this would be a style where also there are differences in style between a village to another because they are huge villages. It's 500 in each. The lowest part is 500. Only the lowest part under the river, where 500 kilometers. Both sides of the river. It's a huge strand of land. So you always have these slight differences of styles. Structurally, okay, I can go on that. If you think environmentally, when you have rain, it's going to be different from when it's dry. If you have termites, it's going to be different where you don't have termites. If you have palm trees, the structural system is going to be different. And I'm going to stop here. You're muted.
I know. I'm muted again. I know. Okay, I'm not muted now. Everyone can hear me. Lata says, yes, can't log on. Tech issues, sis Dimah. The struggle is real. I feel you. You know what? The Temp Gremlins, I have a banner just for that. You know, I created a banner for this festival just for the technical issues. Not today, Tech Gremlins. We will hear what you have to say in the comments and we will respond to you here. And we are very blessed to have some representation from the family in Kenya. So Mustafa, who I will say, Mustafa Mahmoud and Dimah Mahmoud, whether they like it or not, as you said, brother, brother. On to you, please. Welcome.
I think you're also muted.
This is how we know we are brothers and sisters, because he's muted.
Yes. So it's a privilege to meet the three of you again. I was watching online on Facebook. Yes, and it's a good dimension to bring the Kenyan Nubians into the picture, because for us we are a mix, and sometimes we even ask ourselves, when did we start calling ourselves Nubians, and when did we start identifying ourselves with the identity of Nubians? But at the same time, the question is not why, but why that led. So it's a brand that ourselves we look at and we love by association. Yes. So we come to Kenya and the King's African Rifle, the history of King's African Rifle, forced recruitment of the Sudanese slave soldiers, if you read about it. And all of it comes from the Kush Kingdom and all that. So for us, we are a mixture of very many clans, and in different parts of Sudan and some from Egypt. So then we don't just call ourselves Nubians. Yes, in summary, it's like teaching a history class, and we want to talk about migration. We can never finish it within an hour. But it's basically the things that identify us are the cultures that unite us. Like yesterday, it was yesterday or Thursday. Now, with COVID, every day is today. We don't even know the days of the week. So when we were presenting, and then I could just see the kuta that you made when you went back home. And it's the same kuta that we use in Kenya, yeah. So it's those things that build the synergy between all of us, and it's good. I was just looking at the architecture, the Nubian architecture, and how women have been the backbone of the economies. Even in Kenya, it's the same. Women have been the backbone of the economies of the Nubian community. I remember when you're going through the histories, and our grandmothers used to make what we call chir. Chir is Nubian gin. So the women used to, the Nubian houses had two doors, the front door and the back door.
Yes.
So our fathers were very religious. But by the time they're going to work, they come back, they never know what was happening in the house. During the day when they're at work, the houses were basically places where people used to drink chir the whole day. By the time the man comes, he doesn't even know what's happening. That's how strong our mothers have been.
Yes.
Yeah?
Mustafa, every time, all these colonial narratives of the role of women in empowering women and all that crap, and I would like somebody to study the role of men in Nubian society, because I don't know it. I grew up and everything is done by women. Men go to work. I have no idea what work is. They go to some office, and women also have work. So women also work, but also they did everything else. So something the role of men in Nubian society.
The role of men is interesting. I think that will be my study topic. The role of men in society. Because basically we've been the providers. But even today in the current setup of the Nubian community, even if you have a handyman coming to repair the house, the man will just say, repair such and such. And then when you finish the work, they say, go and see the mother of the house. So basically up to today, the women are the controllers of the budget of the house. They run the economy. They make sure that the children go to school. Well, for us, we go to work, but like Menna said, that work in quotes.
Hang on. We have a Nubian brother coming in from Uganda. Brother, please tell us, are you interested in joining this conversation now? I will send you a link. I also see that Mazin came through. So I'll say, if brother, here, I don't know if you pronounce it Rashid or Rashid. If he's coming through, there will be a gender imbalance in this panel. So we need the sisters to step up and come through.
Don't worry. Even if there is a gender imbalance, one Nubian woman
between the two of us here, we are quite the circus of women with our multiple hats. You are still outnumbered, Mustafa, Mazin. Let me read some of these comments until Rashid tells us if he'll join us or not. And then hopefully Mustafa can share some of these photos. So we have Mejdi again saying, oh my God, I broke the speed limit just so I could watch the live stream. If I get a ticket, Dimah got my back, depending on that ticket. And also, why aren't you just taking your horse? We have Muhammad Mustafa saying, salut, mon frère. We have Muhammad Mustafa again saying hi. Sam Ibn Ruqi sends love struck emojis. We send back the love. Bienvenue, les Nubiens. So tell us where you are based. Muhammad Mustafa, tell us where you are tuning in from. Please, as we say, Nubians are everywhere. Please let us know where you're tuning in from. Ça me fait plaisir de vous voir. Ooh. The pleasure is all ours for those.
We're getting French comments.
Hey, man, we no, man. I was going to say Menna. We came in French. We had. Did you see the presentation from Japan? Can we just take a moment and say that the presentation from Japan in Japanese for this fest has been viewed at least 260 times from one page?
Wow.
My mind is blown. It's blown. The amount of love that Nubia has received. I'm so touched. Rashid, again, I'm going to tell you, please, we would love to have you on this panel with us, because this is what it's all about. Nubia beyond borders and beyond boundaries. Mustafa looks like the Harpo twin brother. Shout out to my Nubian Kenyan brothers and sisters. Ashe. We have Husna Omar. I love, good job there, Mustafa. Proud of you. Oh wow, look at her photo. What did you say you call it?
That's a kuta.
Kuta. Is it different from the small one?
The one at the top is a kuta, which means cover, and then the one at the bottom is a tabaga. So the tabaga is the one that you carry with food, and then the kuta is the one that you cover the food.
You cover it with. Yeah, I still didn't get to making the tabak. The tabak, I think, is the same word for us as well.
No, karaj. Shuwir, karaj, and shuwir. It's not, tabak is Arabic.
I'm muted, I know. Okay, we're interested in it looks like we're gonna have an extra treat that we were not ready for, and let the blessings keep flowing. Okay, Muhammad Mustafa says Le Nubia. Oh, that's a lot of French in the morning without coffee. Minna, aren't you go for it? Yes, please. Oh, he's in Yala. No, he's in Khartoum now. Blessings keep flowing. Are you reading, Minna?
I can't see them, no. Hamza, we need some translation from French. I have some translation here. So, we need some translation here.
He's on a tour in what's QG?
Je sais pas c'est quoi. What is Niala? You know what is it?
Yeah, Niala is a Darfur. He's in Sudan.
He's from Niala?
He says he's the neuter Haka.
And his heart. Okay. So he's from Niala?
Oh, there's the rest of it. I'm gonna try and copy and paste it from Facebook.
Brother Rashid, I sent you the link. Please check your inbox, your messenger, the other inbox. Sent it to you.
He says
he's far from Niala.
Oh, pretty close to QG.
He's
Avenue.
Okay.
No.
QG Avenue. Mais je ferai partie pour toujours de la musique. I am part. I'm all part of the music.
In Khartoum.
Raison partout. Raison, just I don't know exactly. C'est El Kamal Pova. Moi, je suis I am the new Tarak. My heart love Kendaka. I adore 6 Avril. Embrasse-moi au fil du Nil comme si tu connaissais. Embrasser.
Embrace.
Yeah.
Embrace. So the English is the hard part here?
Yeah. Embrasse-moi au fil. Comme si je te connaissais bien, comme si j'avais vu.
Okay. So he is far from Niala, close to QG. What is QG? You're muted.
Am I muted? Can you hear me?
My internet started to act out.
Okay, what I'm understanding is that he was close to the headquarters for the revolution. The 6th of April is where the Qiyada al-Amma, the sit-in.
Okay. General, okay.
He's new to Haqa and he fell in love with the Kandaka, I guess for the at the revolution, and embraced by the children of the Nile.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we all got muted. I'm telling you, not today, Ted Gremlins. I'm gonna go back and put this thing on. People, send your collective energies. These tech gremlins cannot take over this conversation. Okay. We have here, and Rashid said he's interested in joining. Muhammad Mustafa says he's in Khartoum at the moment. Brother Rashid, my brother Mazin sent the link. I hope you can click on it and join us. Tyson says, I don't know y'all, but I love you for real. Love right back, Tyson. Thank you so much. Zumri Khalil says, Maskagilo. And Tyson says, Dimah, you're so beautiful. I really love you so much. Thank you. You're very kind. And then he says, Lata says, I'm sending you the link. Hold on. I don't know which one the link to. Okay, we have a curiosity to know if the Nubians from other parts of the world have distinct dressing styles. The Nubians from East Africa have a unique cultural dressing. عندك صور؟
I have photos to share for the Nubian, Kenyan Nubians. So
please.
Do I do a PowerPoint?
If you do the screen share and select just the PowerPoint, it will be through. Wow, I'm seeing the numbers go up on the live. Please, everyone, tell us where you're tuning in from and tell us what it means to be Nubian for you. Mazin, in the meantime, as Mustafa pulls off his screen share, you had something to say. Please introduce yourself. Tell us where you're from.
Hi, everybody. Sorry, I'm camera's not on today. I look terrible. I started getting a cold since the weather changed, and so I look and I feel disgusting. So I apologize. But I'm Mazin. I live in Brooklyn, New York. I am Sudanese. I'm Nubian first, then I'm Sudanese. But I am from Halfa, the new one, not the old one, because that was drowned before I was born. But yeah, I'm from Halfa. By training, I'm an epidemiologist. That means I study diseases. What a time to be alive, right? During Corona. I study infectious diseases, to be specific. I know Mazin asked me a question yesterday, or 2 days ago on Twitter. I haven't gotten back to that question because I don't have the answer for you about Corona and influenza, but I will get the answer for you. Yeah, I currently live in Brooklyn, New York, and I'm happy that this has been such a fruitful conversation, and I apologize for coming in late, ladies and gents.
Woo! Yes, Mazin! That's my sister cheering in complete enthusiasm for you tuning in, Mazin. Alf salam alaik. This is the toll of staying up at crazy hours to make sure these panels are streamed and to put together this Nubia Fest. Thank you so much. All right, do we have your screen?
You're going to have it in a few. I am spoiled for cases for photos, So coming up with the right photos is kind of hard, but I've gotten the ones that I think can summarize what I want to say. My screen is coming up in 1 second. Technology.
We have a drum roll here, please. Can we get a drum roll? Brother Rashid, if you can, the camera, your camera is off, so it won't allow me to add you to the screen. You can keep the camera off. Just, oh, there we are. No, it's not allowing me to add you to the screen. And here we have your presentation. Ooh.
I'm ready.
Yeah.
Yes. So basically, the first photo is of a Nubian bride. If you see, there's the gold on the head. It's called Wadi.
I'm gonna go get my thing.
She's beautiful. I remember also because I have been to Kenya. I was fortunate enough to be to meet some of my Nubian cousins that have been, separated by 100 years. But I remember the women had these white tobe kind of dress that is similar to Hunus women in Egypt, like Hunus women in Egypt. And I would say,
you will see in the next photos the top that women are wearing. So now the gold is the wadi. So basically, it has some the red stuff I've forgotten, but Atasaba and my crew, if you can hear. Oh, okay. You went and brought yours.
Not that I'm a bride.
Okay.
Not yet.
But it's okay. I saw someone online who said you're beautiful. Maybe he was trying to propose. So it can come in handy. Prepare it. It's going to be used very soon. Yeah. So I'll go to the second photo. This is a Nubian lady. What she has on her neck is what we call suk. The beads, the Nubian beads. You call it the same?
Same. Tuk.
So this is the bride in white. You can see the suk on her neck, and then the wadi, which comes as a set with those two. How do you call it? The Dimah.
That
bride
one.
Dimah.
I don't know actually, because also it's used differently. I think with different. Sometimes it's tied around the hand for the, but I don't know which one supersedes, which one not supersedes, but which one comes first. I don't know what it's called. Menna maybe can help us, and people tuning in. What it's called? Let us know.
No, the beads. There are lots of beadwork for the neck. Actually, when I was young, my aunt used to make them, and she taught. So I know the knot for it. I know how to make it because it's pretty complex to get the thickness out of it. We do have a bunch of them. They are, however, not in the wedding jewelry. Wedding jewelry in Upper Nubia is so focused on gold.
Okay. Yeah, even
we do have the beaded jewelry.
So for us, we have a mix. If you see that red thread, it has some bits of the beads which match with her suk. So those are what we identify as our colors. Now, if you see very well, this is a wedding ceremony. and many of them are wearing gurbaba. Gurbaba is actually, you see the black cloth underneath the white one, and the photo that in the middle. So there's a thick material. Gurbaba, I'll show you. There's a photo that has a clear gurbaba. So basically, this is how we escort the groom to go and see the bride. So this is after the nikah in the mosque. This is a very old photo. It's a photo of around 19. I'm not sure. I don't want to get 1970s. And then this is what we call the Luka, the Nubian dance. So, Dimah, you're muted. So if you want to
I'm speechless. I'm not just mute. This time I'm speechless. I'm not muted.
So for men, we say the tombur, while for women, we call it, we say the rogus. It's the same for the Nubians in Kenya and Uganda. So women here, this is for women who are in the process of rogusu. So you can see how colorful the clothes are. The lower part of the dress is what we call gurbaba. If you see down here, the one in yellow, green, those ones in the bottom. So we have the top, and then the gurbaba for the women. So basically, the luka is a gentleman's dance. That's why you see men with suits, and then the tarbush, the dagia that we call tarbush. So basically, that's what we identify. And the gurbaba is the daily wear. Even in the early 70s, you can see this photo of this beautiful lady with a white top and gurbaba. So basically, I think it's our identities in our culture, identities in our dressing. No matter where we are, there's something that you see like this, and you remember when I showed you the suk and the wadi. Dimah had to go and look for hers since she had a proposal coming her way.
Cheek, you are very funny. Menna, I can see you laughing. Don't get any ideas.
You will marry Nubian. That's a plus.
That's okay.
No question.
Spit camel. Okay, that's a very valid question. Since you started with the photo of a Nubian bride in your tradition, in the ceremony, does the bride spray milk on the groom?
Well, the ceremony had a lot of things. There was the aspect of breaking eggs. There are a lot of things that even our generation, we can say that has been phased out because of the Islamic aspect. A lot of things were contradicting the Islamic faith. Nowadays, we just give milk to the groom, and they wash the feet. But we used to break eggs before the bride enters the house. There were a lot of things. We used to call them sibir, but they've been faced because of contradiction with the Islamic faith.
How do you spell sibir? Can someone write? Can you write it in the private chat? Sibir. We have. I just want to go through some of the comments here. Which I don't know which inbox you were talking about. If you mean the Nubia Fest Lata, let me know, please. I hope I'm pronouncing the name correctly. Is it Lata or Leta? You're muted, Mustafa. We can't hear you. I'm so glad it's not just me.
I was just saying, I've sent it there, Sibir. So basically, there were a lot of things. We used to have a lot of it. There was, during wedding, there's Sibir Timana, or for twins. So if you're going to marry a twin, basically both of them have to be dressed like brides. And then after the marriage ceremony, you'll go with your bride, and then the other one will go back home. So there are a lot of culture, and yeah, with the Timana is still there. But with every clan, there's the Sibir during the wedding. So there are different things. We still hold on to a lot of our cultures.
Wow, wow. Yes. Okay. I can't wait to hear more. We have Rashid with us here who joined us from Uganda. Welcome, welcome, brother. Thank you so much for joining and for accepting this invitation to come and educate us and give us maybe a little glimpse. I don't know if you're able to share some of the photos with us.
Yeah.
Can you hear us? Can anyone hear Rashid?
I can't hear him, but when he's still connecting, I wanted to show you a photo of, you asked about milk.
Yes.
Now you can see the groom giving the bride milk. That
is it milk or yogurt?
That's milk.
Okay.
Menna, what was your question?
It's for us. It's a yogurt, more of a condensed milk yogurt kind of thing, and it goes into a container, and the bride gives the groom milk. Actually, grandmother gives us both milk, and we feed each other. And then my non-Nubian husband had to comply with all that,
Wait,
including.
Oh, look at the hypocrisy. You feel hypocrisy. When you're married to a non-Nubian, today you have to marry a Nubian.
He was there, and our wedding was 1,200 people. We had 1,200 people in our wedding, and his party were 15. So this is how his life is.
We feel you. Welcome to the family, man. Welcome to the family. Okay, we have Brian saying, is a white dress for the bride Nubian, or is that Western influence?
Well, if Rashid is able to connect, there is a lot of differences. If you go to Uganda, actually, the bride never wears any cloth. She's just covered with a white fidiga, a white cloth, basically. White is symbolic for us. So in Uganda, you just use one whole wrap of cotton that basically they use it for the bride. So we use white. We've been using white for ages. It's not westernized.
Menna?
And then it also shows the purity of the bride.
Actually, even older women wear white, and it's so historic. I'm just listening to you and connecting to a historical moment and a certain kind of Nubianness that relates to Kunuz Nubians, and the white almost sash around. It's not just that you wear it; you just wear it like a sash, like a queen sash. Around you, and it's just fascinating. Everything is just resonating, and it's as if we were never apart.
Yeah, it's fascinating to know that all these things connect together. It's like a piece of puzzle, especially for us who have migrated from different parts, and then we realize that a lot of these things still connect back to where we came from. So it's like a piece of puzzle that for us we are trying to put together, especially the 6 generations and all that.
So I have a question for you about henna, because the bride you had, we excessively rely on henna for all our festive needs, as you know. The style of henna changes. Just a minute. Buri, mommy speaking. Can I have that? Thank you. So that's a little Nubian here making some noise. So we rely on henna for our all festive needs, as I'm saying, and the style changes. So the old, more traditional Nubian style for us that has so much floral is now moving to what we call in Egypt the Sudanese style, which is lots of blocks and lots of geometry. So I was wondering, and for a couple of years ago, we had some influence from India, and I was wondering what is the influence? How is the henna art moving? And what would be the influences? I know this is a question mostly for women, but maybe you have an idea about that, or a friend to ask.
I actually have a photo of a bride's henna. I'm trying to look for one. I'll share just in a bit. But basically, we've borrowed a lot from Arabic and a little bit of Indian influence. But I think if I show it, you'll tell us the originality. Because at least, you know, I'm a man, me and Hina, we never have any correlation. But the little that I know is I see it. Dimah, your mic is muted.
The grooms, the Nubian, well, at least in Sudan,
Yes.
The Nubian grooms, we put the
Yeah, but
they put, it's not a design. It's not designed, and it's very interesting that you say some Indian influence. I recommend, if you're able to find the documentary Familiar Faces in Stranger Places.
Yeah.
But have you seen it?
Not yet, but you can share with me the link. I'll look for it.
I will. Yes, I will try and find. I don't know if the actual documentary is online. You need to find it, but I'm sure you can find connections to. Oh my God, I'm drawing a blank on her name. Sheila. I think it's Sheila. I'll find it. But basically, in that documentary, what she did is she's traced people of African ancestry around the world to see and trace how they are keeping the heritage alive through dance, through music, through ceremony. Now, all my life, I've been trying to see the connection between Nubians and Indians. Simply specifically when it comes to the wedding traditions, in terms of the red and the gold, the ammas, the hennas, the ceremony being as long as it is. And in that documentary, when she got to India, she's asking the Indians of African ancestry, where do you trace your ancestry back to the continent? Surprise, surprise, it's Nubia.
There is an established research on the trade relations. That's why the sari to the toe relation and all these kind of between the subcontinent, the Indian subcontinent, and the Nile Valley, going through.
I had no idea. I had no idea. And then to add to it, this is a conversation that came up at Nubia Fest and before, and keeps coming up here. The ultimate rejection of Nubians to the concept that historically or ancient Nubians had anything to do with slavery. And I think Mazin will have something to tune into that if he has the energy. I'm very grateful that he managed to come on. I know he's very exhausted, but this is a question that keeps coming up and up again. Oh wow!
So that's this is the one on the feet. There's also suk, if you can see well, and then there's hina on the feet, and then in the hands also.
Can you make this one bigger?
Yeah.
Yes.
So for the men,
I had the one on her right hand on my wedding. So the right hand drawing, if you go to my Facebook page, my arm is sticking out, and I had this drawing on for my wedding, the flower to the finger one, and it's pretty Nubian. It has some coloration, which is modern, I guess. The going. Do you know if they burn it or they use oxygen to make it black? You know how to get this black?
There's a type of henna, it's called pico, that they use for that black henna, and then the other red one is the normal henna. So it's a powdery one. You use it even for hair as dye.
Yeah.
So
the chemical
henna. Yeah.
We have this style, which this one stays on your hand for 10-15 days. We have also the one that is normal henna, and they burn you up in fire. Basically, it's like lots of smoke. Yes, they burned me for my wedding to get the henna really, really dark on you. But it's gorgeous. The different colors are gorgeous.
So we cannot endure fire. So ours, we don't like pain. We go for the shortcut one.
Wow. Okay. Well, I mean, I don't know how or why, but time has flown and we're almost an hour in. And we still have, how can I join? Aya Yusri would like to join. Okay, let's see. Mazin, are you going to start the live stream? Let me see if I can drop the link. But because we have another session about Nubian proverbs starting, and that's a very, very important one, about the tracing back of Nubian proverbs, because it's ultimately the sharing and keeping of wisdom.
I will leave you with one, Dimah. Like the name Latasaba, it's actually a proverb. The sun has has risen. Basically, it's like there's hope for tomorrow. So the name Latasaba is just not picked from somewhere. It's just symbolic enough to say the sun has risen.
Indeed, indeed it has, and it's very, very fitting because Latasaba has risen with her son and given us so much knowledge. You're joining through Nubian Souk family, wherever you're tuning in from, please find Nubian Souk on the social medias. Find them on Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook. If they have a Facebook page, please put the links. Mustafa, if you can put the links in the private chat, I will drop them now in the comments so that they're available on all our platforms. Please put how we can find you and connect with you again. Let me try and see how we can send the invitation. I just need to make sure that we have someone available to stream the next panel. Rashid says, yes, in Uganda, we wrap a bride with a white cloth called balama. I don't know if I pronounced this right, balama or balama. And yay, we have another Nubian tuning in. Nada Osman in the house.
Hi,
Okay.
how are you?
Hi, introduce one another. I'm going to go sort out how to start the live stream for the other panel for Nubian proverbs, because I'm not about to end this conversation just as we're getting started. Keep going. I will be right back.
All right. Hi, everyone. I'm Nada. I am Nubian Sudanese.
I know that.
How are you? And I'm also an epidemiologist. I heard Mazin earlier say he was too. And sorry, I'm so late. I just got a new job and I was up all night doing orientation and ended up waking up a little bit later and missed part of this.
Well, aren't we all? This is such a hectic time. You know, early September. It's either new schools, new jobs, new something. But this is important.
I know.
I have a mess on both sides. I was telling Dimah, we're moving houses. There is yes. On this other side, this one looks like it works, but the other side is on.
Well, good luck. Good luck. That's hard.
Mustafa, I am interested in your background just because it looks like my shirt, which is from Kenya, by the way.
Oh yeah, you said you came to Kibra. I actually live in Kibra. We are like my office is next to Kibra, along Gong Road. So I basically came to the office. These are our thematic office colors. Because I needed some stable internet, I decided to come to the office. Yes.
It's really nice. Lots of vibe. Our offices here don't have that color. You know, I work in Europe. It's all white and boring.
Yeah, the day that I decided to take this, I was given the responsibility of choosing the colors, and I decided to go bold with colors because these are colors we identify with. But when I was coming up with the design, everybody was like, won't we look like a kindergarten? But basically, at the end of it all, people loved it.
Yeah, but, you know, replace green by blue and you have my shirt. It's very common. Yeah.
Oh, Rashid, don't stop. Keep going. Tell us, what does it mean to be Nubian? Since we're all
Dimah, Rashid is saying that in Uganda, they also wrap the bride in a white cloth called balama. Is it, Rashid, is this for all Ugandan people, or is it for people who identify as Nubian? Yeah, hopefully he can text his. And Dada, where are you from in Sudan? What is your Nubian village?
So my dad is from Dongola and my mom is Mahasiya.
Ah, so
Yes,
you have
Yes,
the
girl.
Do you speak either?
I speak none. My mom didn't speak it because my mom didn't grow up there. My mom grew up in Khartoum and in Egypt. She was back and forth. But my dad spoke it fluently, Allah yarhamu, but he never got to teach us because I guess, the mom usually is the one teaching the language and she didn't really speak it. I do speak a few words that I picked up from visiting, but that's it. I would love to learn at some point, inshallah, but yeah, I don't speak it, unfortunately.
Mustafa, do you use the word Nubian to identify a language, or is it the language is not really there? You don't really use the Nubian language or any version of it.
Basically, our Nubian language is, I think Nada can identify it easier. It's called Arabi Juba. It's
Arabic.
like broken Arabi Juba. So that's how language has been diluted to.
Okay. I'm to mute. Sorry for that. My little one is playing something.
But yeah, I don't understand Arabi Juba. That's how most of the people who spoke, when we went back home, when they tried to talk to us in Arabic, that's how it was too.
We can actually hear Arabic, and but the problem is ours is so corrupted that like the Nubian in Uganda and Kenya, there's some similarities, but also you can always identify. Like in Kenya, we call a bed nyengere, or in Uganda they call it serir, so or sida. So you see the way it changes the meaning from one country to another, and you are the same people. So yeah, it's influenced by different factors. It could be interesting to just compare how the change has happened by migration. So I was showing the photo of the white. Menna, could you allow me to share the screen, or Nada?
I think you can share your screen.
I have shared, but it has not popped up. Huh? Still on the other side.
I think Dimah has to do that.
Yeah. So that's what Rashid is talking about, the white wrap, the balama. The bride is just covered with one piece of cloth. It's white completely, if you can see it. So that's what she's talking about. Yeah. So I can stop share?
Why? I was looking at it. Okay.
Oh.
Come on, I'm still doing some analysis here. I'm an academic. I take my time.
Oh, sorry. Academia, you take a lot of time.
First of all, she's gorgeous. She is gorgeous. And do you have a lot of gold related tradition?
I think we've always been fans of gold. Yeah. We've always been boasting that we were the first to be civilized because we used to play golf when people were still being colonized. So gold is a sign of prestige. So we've always connected with it. So I think for generations we've been valuing gold.
Yeah, and it's the tarbush links also to a moment in history. You know, this moment between the Ottoman, the end of Ottoman Empire and the start of the English colonization, and it's beautiful. I'm also looking at the fabrics behind, because I know when there's a wedding, every woman wears a brighter jalabiya, a brighter, dress than the next one, and you have just an amount of emission of light and emission in the wedding. I know it's blinding. We're actually the Faditra tradition. We wear black. So let me show you our dress.
This is how we know synchronicity is real, Menna, because I was just about to tell you, please share some photos.
Let me share some.
So while you do that, while you find the pictures or start sharing, I just want to say how excited I am to have Neda join this this discussion, because really what prompted it is I was speaking to I don't want to say I don't do better, her crazier half Abdul Wahab, for a panel for Africa Week 2020 about creating or building or co-creating generational wisdom, and how we've lost them. Neda, we've lost you.
Can you see my share? Okay. I am not able to share. Okay,
That's right.
This is not what I'm sharing.
I just want to continue the thought before I get chronically distracted. And really, the reason I invited her, and the reason I'm hoping to have this discussion is how do we keep the continuity of our heritage, regardless of where we are. We're no longer physically on our land, but how do we keep passing on this heritage? How do we keep how do we pass this knowledge, this heritage, this wisdom, this past, this culture, this identity to this coming generation, to our children, wherever we are in the world? How do we do it? And I'm hoping after Menna shares these photos, we can touch on that a little bit. And whoever's tuning in from wherever you're tuning in, please tell us if you are doing this, how you are doing this, and what challenges you face with it.
I am not able to share a photo for some reason. It only shows the folder, and when I open the photo, it doesn't share. So I can send it to you, Dimah, and you can. So I'll stop sharing, and I'll send it to you.
Send it to me, and I put the banner up there just to remind the tech gremlins they shall not win.
Okay, I'll just stop sharing.
بس قولي لي هتبعتيه فين؟ لو هتبعتيه على فيسبوك. للجماعه الاخوان والاهل اللي داخلين معانا في اللايف ستريمينج من الدول العربيه، وللاسف احنا شايفين we took الكونفرسيشن بالانجليزي لفتره طويله، لكن اذا عندكم اسئله او oh my god, the word for feedback is completely just like comments. تفضلوا بيها بليز على الكومنت في الكومنتس عشان نعرف ندخلها في اطار الحديث. I see you laughing and smiling, Neda, and if it's because Abdul Wahab is giggling next to you because I am struggling with the word.
He is.
I have Facebooked you a photo.
You have Facebooked me a photo. I will.
By the way, Dimah,
I don't know how the kids are saying it now.
Abdul Wahab is actually also Nubian. So I was talking to his mom, and she said, a few generations back, they are actually from Dongola, where I'm from, and they moved to the city, to El Kamlin, and they've been there for a few generations, but originally they're from Dongola too. So he's Nubian too.
Neda, let's be honest. How much did he pay you, or what did he bribe you with?
I will not discuss, or else he won't give me my money.
Well, you know what? Actually, one thing I will take with me from this, from Nubia Fest, is a way that Menna put it very, 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 very nicely. There are two kinds of Nubians. There's Nubian by identity, Nubian by ancestry, Nubian by heritage. And then there is Nubian by love. And if you missed the conversation yesterday about the Faras font by Tara's Press and Vincent, watch it and just see how absolutely emotional he got when he heard Nubian by love. So much so, if you now go to Vincent's Twitter, he added it to the bio. He's now Nubian by love.
That's amazing.
Yes, so thank you, Menna, for adding that. And Abdul Wahab, it will take Dungula. We'll see, fine, if that's where Khaltu say the roots are going back. we won't argue with that. We'll still give you some flack, but welcome to the fam. Then in that case, you should definitely enter the screen with Nada and tell us how you're going to be passing on this heritage and this identity to the little ones. I know you already started, and he was telling me about the song that was playing and you explaining where we come from.
Yeah, we also, we went to Sudan in March, and we had these big plans of taking the kids to the pyramids and showing them. Say hello.
Well, hello, world.
Hello, Envy.
And then, of course, Corona happened, and everyone was quarantined in Sudan, and we couldn't do that. But inshallah, definitely, like at some point, we want to take them and introduce them to that side of Sudan, because so far they've only seen Khartoum, but they don't know much about, the north and Nubia.
So guys, just wanted to share something real quick. It's so interesting. Again, I've been in existence for about 35 years. Never had the dialogues. It's so interesting is that the word perception, because we grew up in a certain area in Sudan. I know my dad's ancestors. They come all the way from part from Saudi and then part from Turkey. And that understanding. So we did spend, just I want to be 100% honest, time and energy digging deeper into that side of the family because of the knowledge that they made available. This is something my dad constantly talked about his heritage. They've written some books and they go back into it, and they constantly, they're so proud of that side of the family. And it's interesting that we had last night. Just my parents about from because in preparation for our workshop next week, as far as that generational wealth, I wanted to generational wisdom. I wanted to be able to just to challenge my mom's thought process in a sense and trying to understand her roots. And when we sat down and there was probably maybe one of the first time ever to have that kind of dialogue where we took it all the way back. And when she did not know where that next, we like, all right, let's go in there, start making some phone calls, trying to understand. And so I think asking questions is very critical, because I think a lot of times it's like we take things for granted, and if we don't spend that time and the energy and to dig deeper and trying to find and understand about our roots and our culture and our backgrounds, it just becomes very difficult. And I think it goes back into us as a younger generation to do the work, because I think our parents and and their parents at some point, it's like, all right, we've done our duties and we're good to go. But I think it's definitely critical for all. I mean, it opened my eyes, to be honest with you. So I've been teasing that all day since morning today, which is interesting. And I'll be calling you, Mazin and Dimah, for follow-up conversation, because I think I need to do a little bit more education. I need to spend a lot more time just to dig deeper into that side of the family.
Welcome to the family. I guess now we can't tell you can't sit in this conversation. You can't sit with us. I've met him a few times.
Much love, guys. Much love, guys. You guys can do what you need to do. Thank you.
Thank you for joining me. Thank you so much for coming through. We have Agha Yusri with us here. Thank you for joining, Agha. Please tell us where you are modernly, geographically from. As you know on the panel. Hello.
My name is Yusri. I'm from North Sudan. I'm from Wadi Halfa. I'm living in the Philippines, studying dentistry. Yeah, it's such a weird, it's very weird. I'm living far away from my family now during this pandemic time. So basically, the most thing that made me just join this, call or whatsoever event is that I'm just so interested into the Nubian culture, because as a as I've been living my whole life abroad. I've been living in Saudi Arabia, born and raised there. So the thing is, like, one of the things that made me like to join this is because, like, 2 years ago, I have discovered I'm having identity crisis, basically, because I've been living my whole life abroad. So yeah, that's it. So it's really a quality conversation to be in.
It's beyond geography. Yeah. This is what we're. Okay, Dimah, are you saying something? You are muted.
It wasn't meant to come out. Go ahead.
So, I was telling Aya that this is beyond geography. This is the special thing about this community and about this kind of identity that we are trying to weave. Identity is not something fixed. As Mahmoud Darwish says, it's the mirror that we break whenever we like our reflection in it. So it's something that we're building, and it's beyond geography. We're all in diaspora. Everybody, we're scattered all over, but we're trying to find each other. We all have these identity crises, trust me.
Exactly. And like one of the things that made me join this, because I'm feeling homesick and all, and for the past years I've been so involved in the Nubian culture, and I've been watching a lot of videos, and I'm 20 years old. So basically, as a generation, as my generation, we're not really well educated enough about the Nubian culture and about who we are and who we belong in the first place. So yeah, that's one of the things, like it made me more involved into the Nubian culture, and to know who I am from, and my origins, and yes, that's all I can say. And yeah, like what made me more involved into the Nubian culture is that, like, 2 years ago, I went to Sudan, and then I had like my cousin wedding, and then I saw the vibes there, how the people are dancing, and the jarjar, I was so excited about the vibes there. And so that's the reason why I started to listen to a lot of I stopped listening to English songs. I started to listen to Nubian songs and get more involved to the culture, to just know who I am, and to learn the language, to explore the beauty of the language. Yes. That's all far I just like to enter here just to like share about the culture and everything.
You see, this is I took this picture. I was also wearing a gargar. This is my younger sister, my mother, and my late father. We went to visit some family in Abu Simbel, near the temple, and we took this photo by the temple. So just you mentioning gargar.
Yes, it's such a beautiful.
We are related. So we will be related. If you tell me your last name from your mother's side, I will tell you exactly how we are related. We are all related. It's nuts.
Exactly.
Within you're going to be my third cousin. I'm telling you.
I'm actually originated both from my parents. Both of my parents are from Halfa. Like, so I'm 100 Nubian. I mean, origin. So yeah. But it's really such a like an exploring experience to know about my culture. And even here in the Philippines, I have been also sharing about my culture, and like I have some of the Filipinos here, and they come and ask me because I share a lot of videos on my social media platforms. So yeah, like it's not just about stopping my culture. I was just also to like to share my culture to the people here in the Philippines, and show them who I am. And I have been like participating in a lot of events at school. I mean, and a lot of people are fascinated that we are having our own language. And unfortunately, it's not like not a lot of people know about our culture and about our our identity and our who we are, even though it's such an old civilization, but not a lot of people know about it. So yeah, that's what was like really provoking for me.
Aya, do you see this photo?
Yes.
Do you recognize that bread?
What?
Do you recognize that bread? That piece of bread?
I think that's Gurrasa.
Yes, then you're Nubian.
Yeah. No, I really know a lot of stuff because because of my parents. They actually, my dad really speak fluently. Not really, not like both of my parents, like they understand the language but they don't speak it. But they're trying to like let us fall into the culture and know a lot of stuff. And yes, yeah, like I have a lot of good basics about the Nubian culture because of my parents, like how they've been raising me. So we've been eating this at home. So yeah, that's like it made me really feel home.
What is your favorite filling for the gurrasa? Is it the bamia, or do you do molasses like myself?
I don't know. I really like the umrugayga. I don't know if it's that a Nubian thing, but I really like umrugayga, and with the gurrasa, it's really good. I think it's a Sudanese dish. I'm not really sure, but still, I like this one. And it's like I think it's like basically a meat soup with gurrasa. It's really good though.
Oof. Is that weka, Mustafa? Is that okra?
That's okra. Yes, I think that's okra. Yes.
That's
as far as I can.
Minus the henna, I have almost the exact same photo from my visit when I went to the village this time earlier in January. Minus the beautiful henna. It's basically the same tray, almost the same plate. I think and there. This is amazing. Okay, we have comments flowing on Facebook, so I want to make sure people are tuned into the conversation. We have. I just posted the link on comments about the documentary. It's actually called Familiar Faces in Unexpected Places, and it is by Sheila Walker. So I'm going to put this here, an African diasporan perspective. By Sheila Walker. Okay, now let's go for these comments. We have sent the link. We have Muhammad Saif watching from Kisii, Kenya, and I'm a proud Nubian. Welcome, welcome. Muhammad A. Rashid says, I'm just curious how Nubians went there in Uganda and Kenya. Please go to the session that we have about the Kenyan Nubians, the Nubian Kenyans. It's available, or it's still on our Facebook pages for Nubia Fest and the Nubian.
I want you to look at that
on YouTube and on Twitter as well. Unfortunately, we had a bit of a technical difficulty in the beginning, so we hope that Nubian Souk will send us the recorded version from Zoom, and then we will upload the full session, because I only attended like after, I think it was 15 minutes after it had started. So we have 15 minutes worth of knowledge that I haven't accessed, and I demand them. Please share them with us, Mustafa, when you can. And in them, we will be able to see how the Nubians got to Kenya. Perhaps, Rashid, if we still have you here, you can tell us how they made it to Uganda. In the meantime, we have Souk Tanubi saying, Dimah, if you find any literature or link for the documentary on the Indian connection, it's already dropped. It's there. Thank you. We have Siyama Ismail saying, the best way to preserve our heritage, us by first being proud about it. We have a rich and unique cultural heritage. Our food, our dress code, our history is something we must share out with the world outside. We should also encourage the younger generations to embrace our culture and not take root to the Western culture. Did you hear that, Bah?
Dimah?
Yeah. Yes.
Dimah? Siyama Ismail is the Nubian cultural ambassador in Kenya.
Oh, please.
Yeah, she's the Nubian ambassador.
Would she be able to join us? What is a Nubian ambassador, and why don't we have those?
In 2016, we had like a cultural event that we organized by the elders to try to preserve the culture. And she became like the pageant who is the ambassador representing the Nubian culture. So she has done a lot in terms of cultural preservation. She was supposed to be one of the panelists in our session. Unfortunately, she was held up in traffic.
She was not able to join. Well, Siama, if you are able to join us now, let us know. I'll drop the link in the comments. It would be wonderful to join you. And I think can we talk about this Nubian ambassador business? I think we might need to start having Nubian ambassadors.
I think we definitely need one.
Yeah, we should have Nubian ambassador. I mean, essentially, the reason I got pushed into politics was because my mom, since the age of 7, kept saying, I see you as a diplomat, I see you as a diplomat. Now, that's not going to happen within the politics of modern day Sudan, given the givens, despite my being parked outside the embassy. But this I can co-sign. I can co-sign that. Siama, if you're available, please tell us. And maybe Mustafa, you can email her, you can message her the link. I will send it to you. It's in the private chat. Please go ahead and send it to her. Lata Sabah, we have, what did you just, it disappeared. Oh, she was saying Siama is our Kenyan Nubian cultural ambassador. Suhaib El-Heber says, Nubian by love, it's kind of wild, weird. Please tell us which one you meant and why.
It's weird. It's a pretty common term in Arabic, Nubil Hawa.
Nubil Hawa.
نوبل هوية ونوبل هوا.
الهوية لأنه أنت عارفة ما سمعتهاش بالعربي when you were saying
نوبل هوية ونوبل هوا.
نوبل هوية ونوبل it does make sense بالعربي. Osama Muhammad Latif says, it's interesting to find the connection between Indians and Nubians. I was in India. I found some words in Tamil language similar to Nubian. I searched through Google. It was written that the Tamil Nadu language is belonging to it says I think you mean pre-Egypt languages.
I'm so sorry. It's 4:30 and I have to feed my child. So I'm going to bid you all farewell, and I have to say I am so happy to meet you all, brothers and sisters, and where you're not going to get rid of me. I'm going to hunt you down and add you on Facebook and send you things and have all these things.
You had noted that in the Nubian culture, men apply henna. So I wanted to show you the henna festival in the Nubian wedding. It's just brief. They wash the hands of the groom and his best man, and then after that, you can see this whole. This is all henna, and then the candles is just symbolic. They're supposed to be 7, and then. You can see now the men being applied. You can either have it in one finger or the whole hand. So we just have it in the hand. That's how we do it.
It's pure shape. You don't get flowers as men.
Yeah.
As men, you don't get drawings. You get just circles or pure shapes.
Yeah, just pure.
Do you know why? Do you know why?
I don't know why.
Because as women, we breed. We can bring in other humans, just like Earth. We're fertile, so we vegetate. We can have flowers and things all over our body as a metaphor. You don't. So you just
Okay, thank you for the knowledge. And that's Kisra being made. So I just wanted to share with you that one before you go. That's Kisra.
My grandmother has one of those. It's circular, but my grandmother has one of those.
Yeah, and then this is now the gurasa and weka, the dried okra. This is a dried layu. I don't know how to call it. And then it's covered. The bottom is the tabaga and the kuta. So basically, just like that. And this is the beauty that you're asking about. The simple.
Yeah, this is it. Yeah, that's it. I have a picture of my foot that's similar to this. And you do symmetry, so they do the same, because now we have this kind of new trend that they don't do the same. They don't do the same thing on both hands or both legs. Let me give you a recipe before I leave and feed my child. So let me give you a food-related recipe. Do you use molasses with your kabid, with your gorasa?
Molasses? No, I'm not
No.
sure.
Here's a nice recipe for you. Okay, they make all the gorasa and they use them for the weka. You get, we call it kabid, as bread, because gorasa is, I think, an Arabic word. But the have a piece of bread very hot out of the the surface. Cover it in butter. Just let the butter melt and pour molasses into it, and let the bread just soak and absorb all the molasses and eat it.
We'll try it.
Just giving you a parting gift before I go, because they are already made.
Feed your daughter?
What? I have to go feed my bird.
No, I'm saying, is that what you're about to feed her?
No, it's gonna be pasta. I'm sorry for that. It's gonna be some European.
I send the invitation and Inti to come and do this dish live in Africa Week 2020 next week.
You want me to make? It's not a dish per se. It's like a dessert, and it relies on the operation of the gorasa. It's like everybody's making food for them, and what my grandmother used to do is to leave me the last one super hot and add butter and have it so greasy, and then add molasses when it's super hot, so that the bread itself would be soaked in molasses. So,
Menna, before you go, we used to also do that, but not with molasses. We do like butter and sugar. You like put a lot of butter too, and then you just sprinkle sugar on top of it. Or we do butter and honey, or we do yogurt and honey. There are so many different versions. But yeah, you always have to save the last gorasa for dessert, always.
The last one for dessert.
Wow.
Just changing Nubian recipes here before I go.
Brian says, thank you so much, Menna. Menna, thank you for that recipe and for your contribution. It is not a goodbye. It is not a farewell. Feed your daughter, come back. We're still here for another solid 5 hours, and we have the closing ceremony as well. And as we said, Nubia Fest is just the beginning. We have much, much, much more building to do and much more coming together to do. And you being the architect are quite central to that.
Well, here's the thing. The aim is that everybody is an architect. All Nubians knew at least one skill of building. That's why it was the role of the architect was separated among everybody. And Mustafa is shaking his head. I think it's the same there. Everybody knows to do something. Knows how to stack bricks. Knows how to build a vault. Knows how to thatch. So everybody needs to learn some building skill, I guess. So see you guys again. Bye.
We have Siama saying, I wish I could join, but unfortunately she's still held up. We will take your contributions by text, Siama, and look forward to you joining us at a later stage when your time allows, so we can discuss this whole Nubian ambassador thing. I'm very serious about this. Now you have the seed planted. Ishan Ali saying, I'm a proud Nubian. Mashallah, wow, henna, gurasa, bamia. Have not seen Kisra and Layu. Layu was the other one you were talking about, Mustafa? Do you know what it's made, like what is the main ingredient? You're muted. You're muted. I want to laugh because this is karma for all the laughter you did.
There's a leaf that's called in Kiswahili, I know it is called mrenda, but I don't know the name. You have to dry it so that you can cook it. But I'm sure Siama could be knowing the name, or Latasaba, they could share the name of the leaves. You know, for us, we are used to things ready on the plate. I think it's called jutmelo or something like that.
Siama, if you know the name, please put it in the comments for us so we can share it. Here we also have, again, the continuity of the last piece of gorasa for dessert. So it is the same in Egypt, Sudan, and Kenya. Brother Rashid, if you're still with us, let us know if it's the same in Uganda as well. It would be very interesting to do. Nada, do you make gorasa at home?
I don't. My mom makes it though. I am. Oh my god, guys! Like, I need to do better.
Hey, now you should have seen me. I tried my first making the. Was it? No, it was the other one. Thin.
Kisra.
لا. What again? What again? The really thin gurrasa. It's almost like it's like two pieces. It's like a piece of paper basically that's folded.
Oh, okay. I don't know that one. I only know kisra and gurrasa.
So that one's dangerous though because it's so light and so thin. You can literally sit there and devour the whole thing and not realize the damage that's been happening until you feel like if I untie my shoes, I'll probably float up like a balloon. That happened the first 2 weeks in the visit. Okay, Osama Muhammad Latif says the Nubian civilization was included, not just those nowadays identified themselves as Nubian. The Nubian civilization was included most African tribes. To be sure of that, we go to Bajrawiya pyramids. You will see different pictures of people, Negroid and Ethiopian looks. The story of our lives in saying that the Nubian civilization transcends whatever superimposed borders that the colonials have come through and drew onto the map. Got happy with a pen or a pencil and imposed them. As a people, we are one, and if this discussion here sends anything, proves anything, it proves that. And I hope this is just the beginning of our exchange of knowledge. And Rashid here says, yes, we cook gurrasa and kisra in Uganda as well. And layu is a kind of green served with kisra. You know, I think it's molokhia.
Yeah, I think it's molokhia.
And layu, how you say it in Nubian?
Yeah, it's mulkia actually. I was trying to remember it. It's mulkia.
Oh
it's in Nubia we call it layu, but it's mulkia.
No, but molokhia is the Arabic word for it. So I wonder what the word in Nubian for it is. If anyone knows the word for or how we use
we call it layu
in Kenya. Is there another name for it in Uganda?
I think Uganda also calls it layu because Rashid has confirmed it's layu.
Yeah, Rashid said it's layu, and he also says yes, molokhia is in Arabic. So people tuning in from around the world, let us know what you call layu or molokhia in your village.
This is so awesome. I had no idea that, we had so many things in common. I love this. Thank you so much for including me.
Of course. Thank you for coming through and tell us how you intend to now use this knowledge, because the whole purpose is to learn to teach, right? We learn to teach, to pass this knowledge on. How are you going to engage those little ones of yours into early on in life, engaging with this heritage?
No, we talk to them about it all the time, like we're very adamant about them knowing where they come from, about knowing their roots. And like I said, we wanted them to visit Bajrawiya, but that didn't happen last time. Inshallah, next time. But yeah, they see molokhia at least once a month, either when they go to visit my mom or Abdul Wahab's mom. And so sometimes they try it, sometimes they don't, but they definitely will continue to keep seeing these foods throughout their lives. Yeah.
Well, I'm very glad. Now we have Osama asking, do you know tarkeen or muluha?
Oh my God, I just had muluha last month. Yes.
Where?
My sister's house. I don't know how she got her hands on it, but she made muluha.
Wow. Mustafa, do you know what tarkeen or muluha are?
It doesn't smell very nice.
Yeah. And he's being nice by saying it doesn't smell very nice, because it smells horrendous.
It smells really bad. I remember growing up when my mom would make it, like we would have to leave the house.
You've just told me not to eat it.
But it tastes delicious.
Nice. How do you expect your guys to eat it if you say it doesn't smell nice?
Don't let the smell fool you. It tastes.
My nose is the gate pass to my mouth. So if it can't smell nice to me, it's very hard.
No. It tastes really good. It doesn't smell good.
At least you have told me, just go and try it. Don't tell me that it doesn't smell nice. Like, you just drink
Okay,
it.
we were trying to see if you would recognize that, because that's basically
Yeah, that's the pointer for tarkeen is the smell. And I was with you, but also she's giving you a disclaimer, because if she says go have tarkeen on mluha and you go and they lift the plate and you feel like you're going to food, she will think that she was trapping you. This is how mistrust is created between her and the people. She was merely preparing you.
No, when you're preparing someone to taste something that they've never tasted, tell them it's the sweetest thing you'll ever eat. Like, it's like telling someone, I'm going to give you a bride, but she's very ugly. She's disabled. And you tell that person, don't marry. So you have to prepare that someone with good words, like she's beautiful. She's
okay. It is tasty. It is delicious.
I have a comment here from Rashid saying that in Uganda, the Nubians have two kinds of gurasa. One is gurasa mula, and the other is gurasa chai. Rashid, can you tell us the difference between the two, please?
So I could help you verbally, since Rashid has already brought it up. Mula is now the how do you call it? The fillings, the toppings that you eat with. Nas khudra, weka, and the rest. While chai is tea. So gurusa chai is in Kenya we call it gurusadin. The gurasa that is cooked with the oil. Because basically when you cook gurasa, you cook it with a dry pan. But when you're cooking gurasa with the one that you take with tea, it has sugar. It's cooked with oil, so you call it gurusadin. Or a pancake. So the mainstream we can call it pancake. Let me look for a photo.
Is one sugary and one sweet?
One is sugary, one is a little bit bitter because of the fermentation. So the gurasa basically it's always bitter. But now if you want to drink with tea, you take the one which is sugary, sweet, with cooking oil. Let me look for a photo of gurusadin, then I'll share it.
Yes, please. And in the meantime, since you said fermentation, I should tell you that's what tarkeen is. It is fermented fish.
I have a picture. I took a picture that day, so I will try to find it and show it to you guys.
Yeah, that would be amazing. Osama says mluha is pure Nubian. Yes, indeed. Siama says leyu is actually the texture, smooth and slimy. The name is Mafrouk. Okay. Yes.
You know that's the problem of asking a person who's a consumer the name of food. Basically, like the way you said, the men, we are technically providers that receive the food on the table. So if you ask us the name, we'll tell you that it's by the texture, but not the name, the actual name. So in my defense, I always find it on the plate and I consume it. But the people who know the names are behind the Kina Siama. They are the ones who know the names. Because at the end of it all, for us to find it on the plate. So, yeah.
And for those tuning in, no, Mustafa is not saying the place of the woman is the kitchen. He's just saying we run everything.
We run everything. That's the point. We talked about the economy. We talked about everything. So basically, for us, okay, we agree that we're going to do a paper about the role of the man in the Nubian movement. So we need to collaborate on that paper.
The myth that is the role of the man. Okay, she says the name is Mafrouk. This is chopped okra or mulukhia. It can either be dried or cooked raw. The end result is a lovely, tasty paste, which is eaten with gurrasa, kisra, or asida. Oh, you have asida as well.
God, wow.
Is your mind blown, Nada? Because mine is.
Yes.
We have asida, but we call it luguma in Kenya.
We call it lugma too. Certain people call it. Some people call it lugma. Some people call it asida. But yeah, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Wow, this is crazy. Dimah, I sent you the picture of the muluha.
Where did you send it?
On the messenger, because I don't know if I'll be able to share my screen because I'm using the phone.
Messenger as a
Facebook Messenger.
Facebook. Okay, I'll check it out. Rashid says aside we call it luguma.
Asida is Asida. Saying Asida, we call it Luguma.
Asida is calling. This is why sleep is important. Because that A totally 1000% came through as an E on my side. Oh wow! Oh, Nadayur, that's evil. That's just wrong, you know. Between you and your husband, that's just wrong.
I will make sure next time they make some to invite you over. Abdul Wahab didn't even come. He does not eat it. He's not a fan.
Maybe the photo might entice me.
It should. It should.
It will look familiar to you, Mustafa.
Okay, let me see it.
And you eat it with onions and shatta, which is like hot sauce.
I think I've eaten it in Khartoum.
Probably.
They probably couldn't tell you what it was. That's all.
They just brought it and I ate it. That's the beauty of bringing food. You never know what you're eating, but once the likes of Nada start telling you it smells bad.
I'm sorry, I will never start the conversation with that again.
This is what sisters do. We're siblings preparing you. Can you imagine I'm telling you, if someone hadn't told me and they just lifted the thing and I smelled that, it would be a completely different conversation.
Or if you just walk into the house while they're making it, you will leave. You will walk right back out.
But if you are mentally prepared that you are going to have, it's like a first impression kind of situation, you know, where your first impression of someone is not necessarily the best one. They've been running up and down the street, they're sweaty, it's sunny, they were carrying a baby that threw up on them or something, but they're such a kind-hearted person. You shouldn't take that first impression.
That's the definition of muluha right there.
Right there.
I've just shared that is what you call gurusadin, or what Rashid was saying, gurusachai. So that is gurusadin. You see, it's oily. If you compare it with the other gurasa, this other one, you see, it's completely dry because there is no oil in it. It's completely dry, and it's a little bit thinner. It's thin, and this one is thick. Yeah.
I see. And they're made smaller as well. I see.
Yeah, a little bit smaller. These ones are smaller. The other ones are wider because you eat it with mullah.
This is wild. And Rashid is saying another important thing is that all Nubians are Muslim wherever they are. That is not necessarily true. Because we still have Nubians who are holding on to the pre-Islamic traditions, or indeed to Christianity, where they continue to practice that. But yes, I would say the overwhelming majority of Nubians, wherever they are in the world, are Muslim, and I would say some are also going onto the very conservative sides of Islam. I think we have.
That's why Rashid is saying that Nubians played a big role in Islamization of East Africa. If you look at the spread of Islam in East Africa, the Nubians played a big role because of the whole migration in Uganda, Kenya, and Tanzania. So because the Kenyan, Nubians, Tanzania, and Uganda are predominantly Muslim, so when they were coming, they were moving with their whole family. And in the process,
that wasn't the Nubians, though. The Nubians were not practicing Islam. It was the Arabs who brought Islam into Nubia and Nubians. Let's get that very clear, because along with the religion, for which the Arabized version of the religion took out the spirit of Islam, took out the essence of Islam, and in return added certain culturally accepted things from what is Arab vis-a-vis what is African.
I'm coming to believe that maybe, Dimah, you are actually my sister. Because when I speak to my father, we always talk about issues of the differentiation between Arabism and Islam. So you actually share a lot of ideologies with him. That's the reason I'm saying maybe, I think I need to go and look at my genealogy well. We might end up being related one or another. And not rule it out for the time being, because
You
it's a
don't.
mere coincidence that
You don't need birth certificates to tell you we're brother and sister right here. No borders getting them. Mustafa Mahmoud, Dimah Mahmoud. There are no coincidences. Okay, we have a question from Brian. Are there Nubian cookbooks? And you ask this as my sister, the chef, walks into the room.
Working on it.
She's working on it. I've been trying to push her to have a Nubian. I'm hearing echoes. A Nubian cookbook. But for the meantime, we were actually really hoping, and it was one of the things we called for, to have some live Nubian cooking classes as part of Nubia Fest. So inshallah, for Nubia Fest 2021, we will hope to have some live cooking of Nubian dishes. Maybe we can have Mustafa, instead of being a consumer, we can sit and watch him attempt making gurrasa. This should be fun, I think. Oh, that's the dry.
I'm actually a good cook. Yeah? So you might be surprised that I am actually a good cook, not only a consumer.
Hey, I just what you said. Didn't he just say the consumer?
Yeah, it's fun to consume, but sometimes once in a while you just enter the kitchen and do magic. So we can do that challenge, 2021. So this is the dried layu. You can see the leaves have been dried now. It's almost going to be pounded so that it becomes fine. Yeah.
Wow.
My crew has been doing a lot of work behind the scene. They've been feeding me with enough content. So basically, I know you might be having these ones at your backyard drying up.
I am not to interrupt you, but I am literally looking up the picture where there is the dried okra in the backyard of a photo that was taken of me in the village. So please keep showing us what you have. I'm hoping I can find this photo before we wrap up, because we have 8 minutes. Wonderful people, tell us your comments. Tell us what it means to be Nubian. Tell us what your favorite thing from this session has been. If you learned anything that blew your mind, I definitely, absolutely did. Put in your feedback. Nada, what are you taking from this conversation?
Oh, sorry, I was muted again. It was just my turn. It just had to happen to me. But I definitely want to start looking more into Nubians from other countries, because I am just in awe of the similarities between all of us. It's just wow, I'm amazed. But yeah, inshallah, like I definitely want to take a trip with the kids. We told them we would explore Africa, and I think now I know we need to definitely make a trip to Kenya and Uganda, because we have so many similarities for sure. Yes, we've already done Egypt and Sudan. Now we need to move on to other countries, inshallah.
Yes. And maybe you'd be so lucky as to have Mustafa cook for you, and we can see what this magic he speaks of is.
I know.
Yeah. Or you could be lucky that Siama could cook for you. I've just shared with you a link from Siama's documentary on how to cook Nubian food. It's on YouTube. So I've shared the link in the chat so that you can share it widely.
And I just want to acknowledge Lata Sabah's comment about having my sister include Nubians in Kenya in her cookbook. Absolutely. Let us know the recipe, and maybe this can be a collaboration. If you have a Nubian Kenyan chef in your network, they can maybe start working on this together. I will put the documentary here, the video. This is a video on cooking Nubian food.
There are actually two that I've shared on cooking Nubian food. I've shared two.
I will share the other one now. I am just dropping them into the chat. Nada, I hope you're saving these, because I'm definitely going to be trying them. Video 2 on cooking. you know what? As my heart it aches that I am missing the Nubian proverb panel that is happening right now with Ammo Ilyas Khalil and Marcus Jaeger. By the way, my first introduction to Marcus was him giving a presentation at my university in Exeter about Nubian proverbs and how they have impacted other proverbs in other languages around the world. So he started by saying some German proverbs and tracing them to their origins in Nubian proverbs and otherwise. So, but they are all online. They are all on our pages. Go back and see them. I was not going to stop this conversation, and I'm so glad that I didn't, because we have so much to learn from one another. Here we go. Siama says, okay, first, Majdi says, seriously, I'd like to buy that cookbook from your sister. Majdi, we first need to find some publishers, and we need to get Aya in the kitchen to get this done. But yes, once done, absolutely. Siama says, alhamdulillah, I'm very proud to be Nubian. Ameen. Me too. Brian says, thank you all so very much. I must go now, but I will be back. I am an Egyptology at the University of Chicago, and this series has been so very enlightening and wonderful. Ma'as-salama, Brian. Thank you so much for tuning in and joining us in this conversation and throughout Nubia Fest 2020. Mehdi says, inshallah. El-Bunyan al-Jadid says, can we hear some Nubian dialect from Dimah, Rutana? Okay, first of all, it's not Rutana. Rutana is how they call the language to demean and belittle it and make it seem like gibberish. Rutana is the Arabic version of the word gibberish to say that this is a language that means nothing, or it is a language that has no roots, or worse, that it is a dialect. It is not a dialect, it is a language. And unfortunately, I don't speak this language because where I am from in Sudan and where I grew up in Egypt, both governments ban me from learning this language because it is not allowed to be taught in schools. Mustafa, is this something that is the case in Kenya as well, or can you learn the Nubian language in schools in Kenya?
Unfortunately, we are a minority in Kenya. Our population is...
We're a minority everywhere, my friend.
Yeah, issues of land, issues of recognition, issues of minority. It's common among us. Even in Kenya right now, we're having issues of nationality, issues of land recognition. We still have problems even in Kenya. So I think, I don't know if it's a curse or what, but we still have the same problems that you people have.
Well, at least we know we are united in celebration, but also in our struggles, that our struggle is as connected as the continuity of our culture and our heritage. Are you also a member of the Nubian Rights Forum in Kenya?
I am a founding member, yes.
Okay. I mean, I saw the smirk and I figured that's what you were going to go with that, but I didn't want to assume. Do you want to tell us real quick about what you do there?
Basically, Nubian Rights Forum it's a human rights organization. It's been in existence since 2010, and it's been working on issues of citizenship rights, issues of land rights, and basic advocacy. But I no longer work with Nubian Rights Forum. I stopped working with Nubian Rights Forum in 2016. So now I work with NAMATI, which is a global legal empowerment organization that works closely with Nubian Rights Forum. So technically, I still work with them, but not work for them.
Well, it's all working for them. If you're working for Nubian rights, then you're working for. Once you work for Nubian rights, you don't stop for working. In that sense, I take this opportunity to extend the invitation. There's a panel this coming week called "The Accidental Activist: Balancing Pennies and Purpose." You know, when you're all of a sudden you find yourself in the middle of a movement and you have no idea how you ended up there. Join the.
That's my story, but I think you guys are tired of my face. So I'll give other people enough room.
No, this is for Nubia Fest. This is a completely different platform. This is Africa Week 2020. I will send you the details for that. El-Bunyan al-Jadid. Oh, before El-Bunyan al-Jadid, we have a question for Mrs. Nada Osman. Was your wedding a traditional Nubian wedding as well?
It was a traditional Sudanese wedding. but we did do the milk. I don't know if the milk exchange is Sudanese or Nubian. It's just, you know, everything
Nubian.
gets all mixed up. Um, like I said, I did not really grow up, you know, with very strong Nubian ties. I wasn't familiar with the Nubian culture at all. I didn't go to visit until I was 9 years old, and then I went again when I was 11, and that was it, you know. But my wedding was definitely a traditional Sudanese wedding. I was actually shocked that you guys wear the white taupe because we do gold and red. So I'm guessing that's not Nubian. I'm guessing the white is the Nubian. I need to look into that too. I definitely have a lot of work to do.
There's variance because in Uganda, there I said, in Uganda they use what Rashid called, what was it that he called it?
Balama?
Huh?
Did you call it Balama?
Yeah, I think I can't get what he said, but basically, yeah, they use the white cloth in Uganda. For us, we have a variance. Sometimes people go for colorful colors, others go for green, red, whichever color that the bride chooses. But there's no like the designated color completely, but it's common to use white, but it's not like completely compulsory to use the white color.
Thank you. And then we have El Bunyanaji saying Rotana, and then saying, sorry, I had no idea. You know, a lot of us don't know. And this is the story of why we're doing what we're doing. This is at the heart of why we're doing what we're doing, because as Nubians, wherever we are in the world, we have been robbed of the collective knowledge of who we are as a people. And this is our collective effort to research, to rediscover, and to reclaim our heritage, our history, and our moving forward. So don't be sorry that you're asking. I'm glad that you now know. Please share this information with someone else and have them share it with someone else, because this is how we bring the language back to life. And I think Mazin has more of an authority to speak on that, since he is my personal walking dictionary and translator and corrector of language and the preserver of this language from this generation. He really gives me so much hope and so much to be proud of from the work he's doing with Ammo Ilyas, with preserving the proverbs, the languages, and so on. Majdi, we have a comment to you, Mustafa. Mr. Mustafa, we got a link up, brother. This is his name if you want to write it and connect with one another on Facebook. I'm loving these connections. I don't know about you all, but I am completely loving these connections, and I'm hoping that once, even after Nubia Fest, we are able to at least maybe once a month or once every 2, just get on a conversation and have these discussions and just see what's going on as far as challenges. Now that we know our struggle is absolutely one, what are we doing to move forward with it? And then we have Al-Banyan Al-Jadid saying, Dimah, if you are married, was your wedding Nubian? I am not married, and my wedding will absolutely be Nubian. Yes.
And there was a proposal at the beginning of the show.
It will definitely be that's not a proposal, and
no, it's a neutral venue because Uganda, in Egypt and Sudan have to attend that wedding. So you might be the uniting factor. So your wedding could be a very good instrumental event in the unity of the Nubian community.
We have Mazin here with us. I've added him to the conversation to say that yes, my wedding will be Nubian, as in it will have the Nubian heritage and the Nubian dimension honored in it. Though if I'm not married to a Nubian, just to answer Menna back, then it will honor that tradition as well, because Mazin said something in Africa we can't eat, and I think that's his quote for the t-shirts we are making. You can't be an African alone, and by extension, you definitely cannot be a Nubian alone. You are Nubian in communion with all around you. Mazin, do you have something to say about the language? Because we have Rashid there asking, back home, is the native Nubian language still existing?
Sorry, I missed the conversation, and I don't know if you guys can hear my dad in the background on the other broadcast. He and Mr. Yeager are in a very vigorous conversation, exchanging proverbs in Andandi and in Nubian, Mahasi Fedicha. But yeah, the language still exists back home. We actually just had a sort of a, not, I wouldn't say a disagreement, but sort of more like a research type of thing happened 2 nights ago on one of these lives where we were talking about Nuba Uni versus Nuba Unelli, and we were kind of discussing just the meaning of those words and how that fits. So the language, alhamdulillah, is still back home. It exists, but it's not, you know, it's on the decline because people don't see value in it, unfortunately. They look at it as something that is just like, you know, like, okay, we speak this language, but what use does it have? You know, what function does it serve? Because everybody back home speaks Arabic. So they're like, all right, well, what does this thing do for us? You know, it doesn't really add anything in terms of credentials or in terms of these types of, it doesn't increase us in any way, unfortunately, because the language is also, going back to the term rotana, is seen as very lowly and is seen as very uncivilized, kind of like the image that exists of the language is very unsophisticated. That's the word that I'm looking for. Is very unsophisticated, which is unfortunate because the language is extremely rich, you know, and a lot of things, a lot of proverbs that are actually, or a lot of sayings that are Sudanese actually come from Nubian when you translate it over, which if you guys tune into my Nerdy Nubians later on this evening, you will find out some of those proverbs that I translate for you guys and some of those sayings that I end up translating. But yeah, to answer the question in short, language still does exist and we still speak it.
I am sorry to have to cut this short, but I am seeing that, sorry, I was under the impression that that other link had a Zoom link, and now I'm realizing it doesn't. So we actually have to end this broadcast and start this upcoming one. Mazin, if you can, I think you already have the link on StreamYard. If you can send it through on the Nubia Fest email. If you are available later on after the closing ceremony, we probably will continue the conversation. We'll probably tune into Nerdy Nubians because there's a lot more facts that we can, what do you call it, reconnect from. But for now, I think we have a 2-hour session. We have another session that's waiting to go live right now, so please stay with us. Nada, thank you so much for coming through. Mustafa, thank you for coming and sharing your wisdom. Rashid, you're tuned in from Uganda, and although we didn't have a presentation with Nubia Fest, we look forward to having it next year, and perhaps even somewhere in the middle. Send us any information you have about Nubians in Uganda so we can educate ourselves in the meantime. Family, wherever you're tuned in from, thank you for staying with us as long as you have. And we welcome your feedback, your comments, your questions, and just you being here with us throughout this fest. Thank you so much. On that note, we say Afia Logo, and I will end this broadcast. Please refresh the page because the next broadcast is coming through, and it is about, let me pull the title for you. Where? No. You know what? It'll be a surprise. Refresh. We'll see you later. Afia Logo.
Bye-bye.